15th,
Do
September 5th.
September. Do I get a second? Okay, Larry, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Old business with the Brimfield Road project with the Highway Department. We have to table it because the Army Corps of Engineers has not completed their review. Is that correct?
Yeah, order of conditions.
Okay, so
Done
we're
by the
gonna
end
look
of
at
November.
that. I'm gonna change this around just a little bit. We're going to have Officer Swain talk to us about are you talking to us about the veterans? Okay.
Good evening, thank you. I just wanted to give you an update. Your wonderful executive secretary, administrative, whatever she is. As long as she's not considered the police secretary, we're good. She created a wonderful flyer that we're putting out to recruit members of the committee. We talked to John Smith because John was one of the ones who kind of got this going. So John said he'd be interested in being on the committee. So once we get the committee formed, we start doing our research. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to get the names on and have something going for Veterans Day, but my hope is by Memorial Day of 2019, we can maybe have those names put on the memorial by then. So, is that correct there, Jenny?
Yes.
Right. Also, as a veterans agent, and you know we do a lot of events. I know you guys are my chief's boss. He's actually involved in an event this weekend, a motorcycle ride. So I was wondering if you could direct him to participate in that motorcycle ride and ride on the back of my wife's trike, because I think that would, I think that would set a great standard for the motorcycle event. So if you could take that under advisement.
I think that'd be good. I'd rather see
Is it a sidecar or is it the back?
No, it would be the back of a trike. He'd be safe.
Is Abraham going to be in the side?
No. So, but the other thing is, you know, our race is upcoming October 6th, our 5K,
we have
and
that done, announced.
right, and we're getting ready for that. So that's really all I have to say. The Veterans Memorial, we're moving forward with it.
Thank you, Pat, for your
All right,
help.
thanks.
And then I actually gonna start messing around. We have an appointment tonight for Jennifer Burdett, did I say it correctly? To the police department. Chief, did you want to get up and?
Yes.
Okay.
And I politely declined the offer for the ride on the back of your wife's trike.
But I think you'd be really safe on the back of the car
I
rather
would.
than you driving.
I have a helmet you can borrow.
I bet you do. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome Jennifer Burdett to the police department and arrange for her appointment as a police officer on a part-time basis. Ms. Burdett has completed the full-time municipal police training, the MPTC Police Academy, and was previously employed as a full-time police officer of the town of Oxford, where she served. Where she served for 6 years. She's in compliance with Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 96B, as well as the provisions outlined within Mass General Law 550, CMR 3.00. Interviews and background checks have been conducted with Ms. Burdett, and she comes highly recommended. Ms. Burdett will be assigned to the patrol division as her primary function, and her appointment will be contingent upon successfully completing the appropriate training program as outlined in department policy, as well as 1-year probationary period. We're in a situation where we are taking advantage of a good situation, and I'm gonna have Jen come up here and introduce herself. But Jen worked for the Oxford Police Department, and she has 4 children, Jen? All together, and her husband. So that might be 5. And because of that, she has. And I will let her explain it. Because of that, she had difficulties working full time. So we're able to take advantage of that and are able to have a full-time police academy trained, experienced police officer work on our department on a part-time basis, which she would have the ability to do. So we're very excited about it. Certainly, her level of training is far superior in her experience. To some other officers that are out on the road right now. So we're very lucky to have her. So Jen, if you want to step up here, and we're going to put you on the spot and just introduce yourself.
He does that a lot.
Hi, I'm Jen Burdett. I did come from Oxford. I was employed there full-time for about 6 years. I specialized there in the sexual assaults investigations. I have 2 stepdaughters and then 2 other daughters, so there's 5 women in our household, so my poor husband, I feel bad for him. But juggling all of their schedules with dance, school, I just had a baby last year. It just was a difficult schedule to be full-time. My husband's also a sergeant in Oxford, so with those schedules, I decided that I needed part-time. And I grew a relationship with Lieutenant Swain when I was filling details, and I just kind of came to hear great things about Holland and asked them to be generous and put me on as a part-timer.
Awesome. Do I have a motion to appoint her?
So moved.
No, you're supposed to make the motion.
I make a motion to
Yes.
appoint
Go ahead.
Jennifer Burdett, part-time to the Holland Police Department.
Do we have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I have a question. Does that mean we have a full-time police department now?
No, she's a full-time police officer that's
No.
working part-time.
All of you guys, is this a full-time now?
No, nothing's changed. She's working part-time, so we only have 2 full-time employees, as we always have.
Is it around-the-clock duty?
No.
No.
All right, well, thank you and welcome.
Great.
We're very lucky to have you. Thank you so much. All right, we have sign loan for the dredging feasibility study.
Yeah, I'm gonna just
The town of Holland is requesting bids for the following, $96,900 loan for consulting study for dredging the lake. It was awarded to East Hampton Savings. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Welcome. Thank you.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve this, to sign this.
Motion to approve the dredging loan.
Larry, do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I will sign it, and then Larry, you'll have to come up and sign it later, tomorrow or something. I think it's just the 3 of these. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's the 3. And now we have the Hamilton Reservoir drawdown. Does Chris, do you want to talk about it at all, or no?
Just an overview. Conservation reminded me that the LOC should be the ones writing the letter. I don't know if that's necessary in the future or not, to recommend a date for the drawdown.
Okay.
Columbus 8th is not Columbus 8th, October 8th is Columbus Day. Normally we start a few days after that. So
Yeah, it says here, it says October 9th. That's what it
Okay,
says in the
October
letter.
Normally we start a few days after that. Brian sometimes takes in consideration the weather.
Yep.
So our recommendation is no later than the 15th, and there's a good reason for that, because if we do purchase the launch, there's only a small window that will allow us to do the work we need to do over there in November.
Okay.
But on that subject, the dam is open now. Many people are asking me how long it's going to be open because of the flood warning. Can we check with Brian before that?
Yeah, Janine, can you check with Brian and let her know when it's gonna be shut down?
So once, whatever you guys decide on is great, just somebody let us know. If Brian's gonna delay it after Columbus Day, 4 or 5 days,
Okay,
just give us some notice so we can get it out there so people can get their boats off.
okay.
And then there was an attachment that I sent to Janine that, I'm not gonna read through the whole thing, but
The special order of conditions?
the special order of conditions, as well as the drawdown protocol, which was another sheet. I'd like you guys to get in touch with that so that if something happens to me,
It's not gonna, nothing's happening.
well, you never know. Plus, I may not be here next year in October, so
Okay,
some of this is on you guys, some of it is on us to notify people as well as the code red. Right?
Yeah, just don't tell me what you want said.
I can do that. Well, basically, it's just the drawdown's gonna start. And I can write that up once they tell me when.
okay.
Okay?
So do I get a motion to sign the drawdown for, October 9th, but no later than October 15th, and that's per DEP number 184-0335?
Motion to sign the drawdown.
Okay, and that's 2 inches drawn down each day until 24 inches are drawn down at the dam. 24 inches drawn down should remain until mid-March, and the water return to normal level by the end of March.
Right.
Okay, Larry, do I get a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
But Tina, one other thing is, we normally notify Union, because if Union lets out, they don't do it every year.
Okay,
So, one of you give them a call,
Yep.
let the board of selectmen know, we're gonna do it on such and such a date, and they would kind of let us know if they're
all
gonna do
right.
it.
So we'll find out from Brian when we're gonna do it here, and then we will let Union know, or find out from Brian when we're gonna do it, and let them know, so it's like they've got a couple days' warning. Okay, Chris, thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
The chief, I believe you have announcements?
I do. I'll try and blast through this as quick as possible.
That's all right.
Because all these people in here want to go home. You got to stay until I'm done, okay?
I missed
All right.
I missed the Veterans Day.
You did, yes. I have a couple of announcements here. We have a couple of upcoming events, and I'm actually here on behalf of Stop Abuse Today, Inc. We have a couple events, one which we are hosting as a police department here in Holland. The first event is coming up, is the second annual ride to end violence and abuse. Proceeds benefit Stop Abuse Today. That is a motorcycle ride this Saturday, September 22nd, 2018. We have it on our Facebook page, but it's at the Eagles in Southbridge where it starts. I just wanted to give a brief overview to everybody about what Stop Abuse Today is, because some people aren't aware of it. It's sort of a newer incorporation at this point, and we haven't really had a press release yet, which is something that we're going to be doing hopefully very shortly. The letter I provided you there, Stop Abuse Today, I'll just overview it. Stop Abuse Today, Inc. is a nonprofit organization whose primary purpose is to support abuse victims, as well as to provide the public with awareness and education related to abuse prevention. Furthermore, the group strives to develop partnerships with schools, systems, community centers, senior centers, religious centers, police departments, and aims to develop relationships with municipal government and religious leaders. A little history of the group real quick here. In 2001, towns of Brimfield, Holland, Wales joined forces with the Tri-Town Domestic Violence Task Force. Most of you are probably aware of the task force. It was created after a Wales resident, Cheryl Crane, was murdered by her ex-husband, her estranged husband. Over the years, the task force worked arduously to support domestic violence victims by providing counsel and education, and by raising awareness in our communities on how to break the chain of violence. In 2017, the task force, which proudly served those in need for more than 15 years, was designated as the charter member of Stop Abuse Today, Inc. For those who don't know charter, that means founding. Although domestic abuse is still a major area of focus for the group, the members recognize that there is a need to expand services and resources into other areas of abuse, to include elder abuse and bullying among our youth specifically, as well as the need to expand geographically. Prior to incorporating as Stop Abuse Today, the task force had partnered with outside agencies, most recently YWCA, for purpose of handling finances for the group and for official nonprofit recognition. Since officially incorporating, the group has severed ties with YWCA for purposes of finances and nonprofit status as they have become self-reliant in those areas, and the group has officially attained their own 501c3. That happened at the beginning of 2018. At its inception, Stop Abuse Today, Inc. created an executive governance committee of officers. The committee is currently composed of 7 members and is charged with the responsibility of overseeing the operation. The committee consists of a chair, a secretary, and a treasurer as part of the group, as well as a coordinator. The town of Holland is very well represented within the group, which we're very proud of, and I'm pleased to share that our very own Holland Outreach Coordinator, Jennifer Mott, and Holland resident Deborah Williams were recently appointed as members of the committee. With Jen and Deb joining the group, we now have a total of 4 Holland residents as members of the Executive Governance Committee to go along with Janet Zafiris, who is the treasurer, and Sarah Zafiris, who is the secretary. Also, in 2017, when the group formed, I was appointed as chair of the Executive Governance Committee. So we definitely have some ties to Holland here.
Awesome.
Most important to the desire to expand, the group determined that we must first establish a formal structure. Within this structure, the group authored rules and orders for the governance of Stop Abuse Today, which includes articles of organization, articles of bylaw and constitution, articles of executive governance committee, and articles of meeting procedure. This formal structure allowed the group to form a hierarchy, implement a fair and equitable decision-making process, and formalize the meeting process, which in turn allows the group to produce and maintain the most stable organization possible through a coordinated, controlled effort. Furthermore, in an effort to methodically distribute responsibilities and to generate a productive and well-prepared operating system, the internal structure of the group is organized to include separate divisions or coalitions to work independently of one another in order to successfully focus on the 3 major subjects of the cause: domestic violence, elder abuse, and anti-bullying. Principal advantage to coordinating assets in this manner is to allow the group to integrate personnel, priorities, and protocols, and to arrange plans in an effective and efficient manner with one common purpose in mind. Primary function of these smaller groups of individuals is to develop strategies and implement improved plans to provide the public with education and awareness about the subject matter they focus on. The group is very excited about the future and what the future holds, and is always looking for support from and participation from the public as well as our municipal leaders, so that we may all work together to promote healthy relationships and to provide much needed support for abuse victims. So having said all that junk, which is a lot of words, basically, it's a very important group. It's the continuation and the expansion of the Tri-Town Domestic Violence Task Force in a much more formal area that we are expanding. The group has been working very hard. We have monthly meetings that is open to the public. We also have a quarterly meeting that actually the next one is being held at the Hitchcock Academy in Brimfield this Friday at 9 a.m. Everybody is welcome to attend and share their ideas and input. Having said all that, the Holland Police Department, in association with Team Hoyt, is sponsoring a Stop Abuse Today 5K, which is being held on Saturday, October 6th, 2018, right here in Holland. We are using the same route that the elementary school uses. It is our 2nd annual 5K. Last year, when we did our first one, we raised over $750, or approximately $750. We have already more than doubled that amount just in sponsors alone for this year. So it's being sponsored by us in association with Team Hoyt, and the proceeds are going to be donated to Stop Abuse Today, and you guys are welcome to run it. I know Bettina's going to help me at it.
Yeah, I did last year.
Yeah, and I've already nominated you for that. But it's also a walk too, so people can walk the event too, and it's really going to show support. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so it's very important to us, especially considering the tragedy that we experienced back in June. And then also on that note, I do have a couple of bulletins. We are going to have to close down some roads temporarily and have some detours in place in accordance with Holland General Bylaw Chapter IX Section V, whatever that means, or what's that, 9.5 or something. I do have the bulletins posted. They're going to be on our Facebook and on our website. We're going to try and move the traffic as much as possible, but we will have to have a little bit of delay. Probably send a code red in the morning. And the last thing, or two more things real quick. Stop Abuse today is also having a walk against domestic violence. It's their annual walk that the Tri-Town Domestic Violence Task Force had done for years. That is October 7th from 1 to 4 on the Brimfield Common. And we, the Holland Police Department, are also hosting a National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day on October 27th. That's a very successful event. You can bring your prescription drugs to the, actually it's going to be held in this room on October 27th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we have a bin that we will collect those, and then they're brought to a location that is run by the Drug Enforcement Agency, and all those drugs are destroyed. A lot of people have drugs in their house, prescription drugs that they have to get rid of, and this is a way to do it. So I think that is all. Any questions, comments, concerns from the audience?
If someone wants to make a donation to the Stop Abuse Team, where does that go?
Very good. Thank you for bringing that up, and I apologize for not mentioning that. That would go to Stop Abuse Today, Inc. That is, we are incorporated, and that check can be sent to Stop Abuse Today at 27 Sturbridge Road in Holland, Mass. This is actually the address that we use for the articles of the organization. No, because it's going to go right into my mailbox. It's going to go into my hand, and it's going to be immediately turned over to Jen Mott to deposit.
So you don't need your name on it?
Stop Abuse Today, Inc.
That's it?
Yep, or Stop Abuse Today.
Second
Yep.
question. Can you send me a little more information on this, and I'll put it in our...
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Do I have your email address? I'm certain I do. Yes, I will send you.
I will.
That would be great.
As long as you email me and remind me. Thank you.
The drug take back, what time is that?
So that's going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
At the community center.
And it's going to be in
Right
this room,
here.
in
Right
the
here.
community room here. And that's a Saturday, I believe.
Yep.
And that may end up being the day of the trunk or treat too. I'm actually meeting with the PTO next week, but I think that's the last Saturday before Halloween. So,
Yes.
but that's fine. It's going to be at night, and we're going to coordinate that. That will be announced after I meet with them too. That's a PTO runs that.
Thank you, Chief, very
Free to
much.
go. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks. I'll email you that.
Thanks for
Okay. Next is warrant signed. No, thank you so much, Chris.
When I ask for the notice, just email it to me.
Okay,
Just email it.
thank
Good
you.
night, everybody.
Have a good night. Oh, I need to this. Warrant signed payroll was $40,060.82. Accounts payable, warrant was $165,956.72. That is it. I was gonna say we had public access, but we have nobody here.
I have public access stuff to say.
Do you have something to say?
Yeah, just one big announcement for the cable. Hey everybody, I'm Tristan Braun. I'm the commissioner for I'm the head of the Cable Commission. I just wanted to let everybody know that all of the recorded meetings, the selectmen's meetings and everything are now available on YouTube. A link to Holland Cable's channel is on the Holland Town Hall website. Also, if anybody is curious as to when we're airing the selectmen's meetings on TV for the next 2 weeks afterwards, 9 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. So
Wow.
that's kind of the important information for the moment anyways.
Thank you so much,
So, yep, thank you.
and thank you
Thank
for your
you.
work.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second, Larry? Don't hear him. All right, I'll second it. So all in favor, aye. And
Aye.
it is 6:25.